Hey guys, it's Andrew from Stock Money Lizards. Hope you're doing great. So it's been a while since I've given a bit of an update on what I think Bitcoin price is doing, mostly because I've been traveling around India, so I haven't really had time. But to be fair, price has moved up in line with previous analysis with regards to our cup and handle chart that we identified earlier this month. Cool, so let me just jump into the charts and just comment on what I see happening today. So current price is at 41.1k USD. You're looking at the weekly chart on the left and the daily chart on the right. We've discussed before how Bitcoin in a bull market tends to always find support at its 20 period moving average. In this case it briefly went below it. What I'm seeing now is on the Heikin we've had extreme growth and no lower wicks in the candles, which is a sign of bullishness, so momentum still going upwards. However, if we look at the current one, very small candle with an upper and a lower wick. This normally is a candle that signifies uncertainty in the market. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to shift to the right side to see what's happening on the daily and to see what this candle is really made up of. So as you can see, we made our high roughly at 44k USD, and now we're sort of starting to print these red candles with no wick at the top and a wick at the bottom that signifies downside. Still there's uncertainty in the market with the upper and lower wicks. However, now the latest candle, i.e. the latest day, is downwards. So what I'm thinking now is we're gonna come back to our moving average, which at the moment is at about 34k USD. It's not that low, but I think it's necessary for us to keep on moving upwards. I'm gonna have a look at where we are on the RSI. So on the RSI we pushed above 78 and we hit 83, and now we've just come back down into the 79 zone. So I just want to go back to a few times where we were at this position before. I'm gonna ignore this because in this particular situation we kept on going up to 96, which was ultimately our first major high of the bull market. And I also think that we're heavily moving similar to 2016. So look at this particular situation. We were at 78. This was back in 2016 of June, which actually feels a lot like that time. So we made a nice break out at the top to 728, hung around in this area above the moving average, and then what happened was once we went below the 79 to 73, we had that correction towards the moving average. I'm gonna ignore this. This is a panic. The point is we can panic below the moving average, we just have to close above it. But the point of this is that in this particular situation RSI was going down, and as a result price went down. Let's have a look at this situation. Keep on going up, RSI comes back down, keeps on going down, price corrects back to the moving average, and this happens over and over again. So we go up, find the high, unsure. This looks, so if we zoom in actually here, this candle looks a lot like the candle we're printing at the moment, gone up considerably, and now sort of I feel like we have to go back down to the moving average. So on a number of occasions when the RSI breaks above 79 and goes anywhere up to 86, 94, what happens is the market tends to correct, and its level of support is the moving average, which normally comes at roughly 66 or maybe 57 RSI. So what I'm thinking is we're currently going through our first one. Haven't been in this situation since the peak of 2021-ish. So now I expect a bit of downside, which is a good thing. Maybe down to the moving average, or maybe we hang around in this area and wait for the moving average, one or the other. This is just a tweet from Stock Money, and as you can see, it plots a very cool fractal where we find resistance at the current level that we're at. We hang around this area before pushing through somewhere in the region of March above 42 to, let's say, these levels of 65, retrace back down to 42, and then we propel forward to new highs. So some on-chain analysis, guys. The net unrealized profit is hovering in the optimism, anxiety, belief, denial, and it does feel a lot like that at the moment. MVRVZ score is doing great at 1.42. Can't really complain about that. Reason why I brought these two up is because today I want to discuss a cool indicator, which is basically a mix of both the net unrealized profit, which is the sentiment in the market, which is this one over here, and the MVRVZ score, which is this chart over here, and it somehow puts the two together. And it's being quite accurate at identifying peaks and bottoms in the Bitcoin market cycles, and I'll show you where, how, and when. So think of the composite indicator as one that fluctuates between, let's say, 1.6 and negative 1.6, with 0 being its median. So if we go to 2013, you can see that at the top, which is the composite indicator. Cool, we're back. Okay, so as you can see over here, if you look at the blue or whatever, purple, I don't know what color it is, I'm colorblind. If you look at Bitcoin's price in 2013, peaked when the composite indicator was at roughly 1.2, peaked again when it was at 1.3 in 2013. The 2018 peak at 1.21 when Bitcoin hit roughly 19k. Then it peaked at Bitcoin's price of 59 or 60k at 1.16, and at one on the actual high of 69k or whatever it was, 1. So in this case it kept on going down, which was a fest for the composite indicator. So I'm just gonna go and zoom in on, so basically I don't think we're at any of these peaks at the moment, because currently what we're at is 0.74 ish. So what I did was I found instances where we were at 0.74 to see what's gonna happen. So in this particular case, when we hit 0.75, kept on rising to, let's say, 8.5, but price remained more or less in the same region, even fluctuating down a little bit, but the trend essentially was down for, in this case, a few months. But this was quite a massive rise to that we had gone through back in 2019. So basically my point is, when we hit 7.6 or 0.77, price tends to correct down. At least that happened in 2019. In 2016, we had hit the Bitcoin high at 757, composite indicator at 0.75, so the price at 676, so it already started to dip, and then as the composite indicator started to dip, price sort of went down also. I mean, from a high here of from let's say 750 euro or dollar down to 573 USD, and the composite indicator correction of 0.06, so from 0.756 it went down to as low as 0.6 or 0.59. So basically what I'm thinking now is, based off of the RSI and what we said here with regards to the high Kanashi candle giving us an uncertainty viewpoint or view on the market, with a lower wick and a higher wick, with the moving average coming in at about 34k, I'm thinking that price will correct down to this level at some point, or drag its feet a little bit. Before we end this video, I just want to make a comment on the Bitcoin dominance. When identified that this rectangular accumulation zone of, I don't know how many days, something like 400, 500 days, was 15% high. So I just plugged 15% over here, and it seems like the Bitcoin dominance chart has, let's say, topped for now. So I don't know what is to happen with the Bitcoin dominance chart. I'm feeling it's going to continue going up, but to be honest, I'm not sure. If I look at the ETH Bitcoin chart we had last time, identified we were roughly here, and I had said that I think we're going to make a push towards this descending wedge to try and get back in, and we'll probably get rejected and then come back down, then try go back up and come back down, and now we're sort of really in dangerous zones for ETH BTC. This only adds weight that Bitcoin dominance will go up, and it also adds weight to the fact that best play right now is to hold very strategic altcoins, definitely, because some altcoins are doing really well, but to keep in mind that Bitcoin is probably your best hold. Finally, I just was lucky enough to get access to Decent Trader's Ironman Indicator, which essentially just lists. It does a lot of things which I'm just getting used to be honest, but gives you a really nice picture as to how the moving averages are doing, how your MACD is doing, how your RSI is doing, how the stochastic RSI is doing, and it plots super trend. And if you go to the weekly on Bitcoin super trend, you can see that with 126 days to the halving, the indicator is signaling that this is still very bullish, which is great, which is what I think. But on the daily things are not looking as rosy as the weekly or the monthly. So this is just an indicator which I will continue keeping track of, continue showing you what it's doing. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, guys. So essentially what we're thinking is maybe a correction to the downside, not too much. 35k is not that bad if you think about it, and then we sort of see what happens from there. In the meantime, if you're looking for some news and educational content specifically on crypto, I suggest checking out ccn.com. I'm currently writing on this really good website dedicated to crypto and AI, but mostly crypto. And just sign in. You can follow us on Twitter and just keep up to date with everything crypto. Finally, before I close off this video, if you want a Bitcoin Lite, our shop's doing really well. We're having a good Christmas. 27 shop reviews now, delivering all over the world. If you're looking for a Bitcoin Lite, they're really nice. I suggest just go in on Etsy and type in Neon Bay. That's the name of my shop, Neon Bay, and type in a Bitcoin Lite. Cool guys, this has been an update. Apologies for giving this a bit late. Last video was roughly 3 weeks ago. However, I'm in India at the moment, and it was a bit of a challenge, plus not much was going on, and our previous video more or less said everything we wanted to say leading up to this pump. Cool guys, so stay safe, have a good one, ciao ciao.